Well, let's just check the volume level. Holy crap, that's a bit much on that volume there. Let's get into it. Stream starting. Well, let's just check the volume level. Oh, there we go. It is working correctly. Let's switch across and let's get into the race, I guess. Early morning for people, I guess, but bloody hell. At least we get the race done. So, Tour Colombia 2.1 race in real life. And in our PCM SimGame, it is a Pro Tour event. So 2.1, so there, Tour Colombia, we're using the 2018 route. Clicking load the start list, and let's have a look who we have today. Quite a reasonably strong start list, I'd say, with a few big names here. Arkea Samsic with Hugo Hofstetter for the sprints, not really a mountain rider for them. Wout Poels leading Bahrain victorious. He's got a few nice domestics there. They haven't really got a sprinter. Bora Hansgrohe have a few punchers. This is maybe Romo for the overall. Caja Rural have Alfredo Hodge for the sprints. EF Education, we've got Calderman for the overall, and Wimes for the sprints. Groupama FDJ led by Enric Mas. Sosa is a key domestic. He's going to be one of the big contenders in this race. And they have Brian Coquart for the sprints. Hogarden from Frights. Esteban Chavez, Edward Turns. They got two big sprinters there and a few domestics to go here and there. Kubota Sake, one of the, well, actually they are Pro Tour. Marc Soler, very strong mountaineer, and they have Itema Einhorn as their sprinter. Lotto Kern, one of the two Conti level teams in this race. Giovanni Aiolotti as their GC man. Zwiehoff as either secondary or key domestic. No real sprinter. Mapai GB have Alexander Vlasov as their leader, with Fogelsang and Donovan as key domestics, and Moschetti for the sprints. Michelin Premier Tech looks like no real big sprinter, but they've got Demarki to hopefully get them a stage win. Netherlands Lottery have got Sepp Kuss, of course, Vuelta winner of 2023. Max Paul is a nice domestic for him, and Musato for the sprints. Pseudo Quickstep in the pink, Gil Martin as their leader. Also very strong domestics there. Tobias Lund as a reasonable sprinter. St. Michael Uber, Lawson Craddock looks to be all-rounder kind leader. No big sprinter. Maybe Dan McClay could show us what he's made of. Jonathan Caicedo is there as Tudor Pro Cycling's leader. A few all-rounders. They're one to look out for. And UAE Team Emirates have Roman Bardet for the overall. David Decker for the sprints. Verona, very strong domestic. Hey, Kaitilis. Apologies for my pronunciation. But we pick our simulation team. Before we start, we check that frequency of falls is on 1, prize coefficient is 1, race day is 5. So, Tour Colombia, we have two flat stages. The first one's quite short, actually, another 3 sprint stages, bit of a punchy hill finish, another punchy hill finish, and then a mountain stage 2 finish. Quite a lot of climbing in these last 2 stages, over 2,000 meters. Sergio Higuita won in 2020 with Martinez and Caicedo on the podium. Today's first stage looks like Matteo Moschetti of Mapai is the leader, well, is the main favourite, followed by Edward Turns, Tobias Lund Anderson, Mosato, and Hofstetter. Let's get into it. 2020 with Martinez. So we're using the 2018 route of the Tour Colombia. Let's see what happened in real life there. Tour Colombia. Yep, the race is loaded before we can do that, so we will get our rider there. onto 0 right away, so he does not influence the race. And once again, there's confirmation of the start list. We've posted a relook at well, how is Miguel Angel Fernandez already a second behind? Anyway, the main favourite looks to be Sepp Kuss, Enric Mas, Roman Bardet, Vlasov, Bergioli, and Guillaume Martin. Small breakaway has begun right from the start line. There's a Swiss rider, Brun, from Tudor Pro Cycling. There's a French rider from Arkea B&B, but meanwhile, it is Michael Vink, the ever trustworthy Kiwi for Kubota Sake on the front. Adjust our camera a bit as we quickly look up these results for Colombia. That's not the right one, is it? Oh well. It is Tour Colombia 2018 was their first edition of this race, and that was the one by Egan Bernal overall. Stage 1 was won by Fernando Gaviria, then Sebastian Milano. Anyway, it is a short stage, like we said, only 83 kilometers to go. 3 intermediate sprints, 6 points each, 25 points on the finish line for the sprints jersey also. Looks like Mapai is doing a bit of work, so they must have Moschetti on a good day. One moment, just taking off my jumper. Oh, there's been a crash at the back. Let's keep an eye on it. Amador Bittner, and it looks like the leader for Lotto Kuhn has fallen, so they're sending back domestics. Even though they are quite close to the peloton, I mean, good on them, sending everyone back. Two minutes 50 is the gap to the breakaway, and is only increasing. 15 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Nothing too much happening here. Here we are, first intermediate sprint. Who's going to go for it? Both look similarly matched depending on day 4, but it looks like it is the Frenchman from Arkea B&B who just has the edge, half a wheel length on the line. Meanwhile, in the peloton, they are sprinting for it. It is Moschetti versus Einhorn. Moschetti and Einhorn were teammates last year at Mapai. Moschetti takes the middle line, and Lund on the inside just sneaks through for somehow. It did not look like he took it, but he took the shortest route, so good on him from Soudal Quickstep. Hopefully Moschetti's got someone to protect him so he can recover for the next intermediate sprint. Pretty poor conditions out here in Colombia today. Not the greatest of racings, but these riders, they're happy to be on the road. Happy to actually get some racing in their legs, as we see Mapai, Batasake, and it is Farm Frights doing some of that pacemaking as well. Dario Cataldo. Ooh. They have cut the gap by a minute already in between the first and second. What do you call it? First and second intermediate sprints. Still going to be the breakaway taking these first two positions. They look to be tiring a bit. The rider from Tudor Pro Cycling not taking his fair share on the front. Maybe he wants to try and take some more of these intermediate sprint points, or maybe he just wants to last a bit longer out in front. The Frenchman flicks his elbow. That is the universal sign for a rider to roll through. 1.6 k's to go to the intermediate sprint. It's slightly uphill. The peloton still a minute behind, but driving the pace, it is Groupama FDJ. Brian Coquard has launched a sprint. Moschetti is on his wheel as we see the Arkea B&B rider taking maximum points there. This time it is Moschetti who gains third place in this intermediate sprint. Quite a big bunch of sprinters here going for those 3 lots of points that are on offer. As we get through this intermediate point, it is a counterattack by Ruiz of Team UAE Emirates. He's trying to make a name for himself, getting up into the breakaway. Cataldo is the first to react, followed by Van Bylen of the Netherlands lottery team. Michelin Premier Tech showing their class at the front. Vlasov now helping lead Moschetti up through the windy streets. There's 38 kilometers to go for our riders, just a few more laps of the town circuit. Ruiz is about 20 seconds, he's about in no man's land, 20 seconds between the peloton and 20 seconds between the breakaway. two breakaway riders are definitely looking dead now. The man from Shooter Pro Cycling, that last sprint effort really took it out of him. Looks like he's trying to attack away from his breakaway companion, or maybe they don't want the Colombian to catch up to them. Looks like it's all going to come back together shortly. Only 24 seconds now as the rider from Arkea B&B Hotels launches an attack. They drop the rider from Shooter Pro Cycling. Ruiz now takes over some of the pacemaking. Only 20 seconds behind them is the peloton led by Cataldo. Remember, this is not the intermediate sprint line. There must be 2 laps between sprints. We now see Thomas Silva, the young Uruguayan, on the front. Is he driving the pace for Moschetti? It looks like it. Is Sam Gaze with Farm Frights is also there. But Ruiz now has a solo lead. Michael Vink, workhorse as always. He's trying to make the catch. There's only 30 kilometers to go. A lot of Farm Frights and a lot of Mapai colours here at the front. Kubota Soke also here. Marc Soler's positioning himself up the front. Is he going to be leading out Einhorn? It looks like he could. Another Uruguayan rider, this time for Farm Frights on the front. Ruiz will not hold on to gain any intermediate sprint points. It's going to be up to the sprinters this time to gain all 3 places. Where is Moschetti? There's Moschetti. Einhorn looks to be glued straight to his wheel. Remember, they were teammates last year, so they know each other's tactics. Alberto Torres on the front for Team Mapai GB, leading up Moschetti for his intermediate sprints. Bittner on the right-hand side. Lund Anderson's away from his lead-up. Moschetti launches first. Einhorn on the right. Mazzato looks like Moschetti's gone too early for his intermediate sprint point. And he has. Fuck's sake. It looks like Lund Anderson took maximum points there. No, Turns did. Lund Anderson second and McClay third. Moschetti not having the greatest of days, only taking 1 bonus second in these intermediate sprints. 21 kilometers to go. We should see the sprint trains coming to the front shortly. There's Alfredo Hodge for Caja Ruel with their bright yellow jersey. Very easy to pick out among the peloton. Also the Netherlands team. Looks like they found themselves behind the St. Michael Uber squad. Still a full peloton, 112 riders. Only abandoned, of course, is our simulation rider. Had a crash early on with Bittner. Hopefully that hasn't ruined his form too much. Mazzato being pushed off the wheel. Kakar does not have a lead out. We see Fogelsang up here with Vlasov and Boyven and Torres. Looks like Moschetti's got a long train and he's finding himself deep in the peloton, not where he wants to be. Matt Walls for Bora Hansgrohe. Scarponi finding himself in the middle of the Michelin Premier Tech squad. There's the Mapai train on the left-hand side. Vlasov trying to keep himself up near the front for GC. Alexander Camp in the middle. But it looks like it is Farm Frites, led out by Sam Gaze. He's doing Espan Chavez. 12 kilometers to go. It's really quite flat. Puncture for Bergioli. It looks like he will just make it. No, he is not back in the peloton. He has a little bit of chasing to do. He is, of course, the leader for Bora Hansgrohe. Bora is going back for him. They're sending They're sending the whole team back for him. He should catch up. There is 11 Ks to go. He's only just off the back. Heading back to the front of the peloton. The main trains are still here. Of course, the Bora train is missing, as they are fighting with their weakest rider from San Marino on the front, trying to catch back up. Oh, another crash. Zwiehoff has fallen. He's the leader for Lotto Kern. It looks like his Bora's just made it back into the pack, heading back to the front, and the Lotto Kern boys going to head back for their leader. They are not. 5.8 kilometers to the finish. Lotto, the Netherlands Lotto in the middle, in the red, the Kubota Sake and the Farm Frites. I cannot tell them apart at the moment, but there's 2 trains happening here. The Mapai train doing a nice sweeping edge, losing Moschetti in the process. Moschetti falling too far back, I reckon, for the sprint. Morin up for on the front. Let's wait and see. 2.4 kilometers to go. 2 kilometers to go. Someone's going to launch their sprint now. On the left is Guillaume Boyman blocking Alberto Torres. In the middle, it is the Portuguese rider Lieto. Moschetti is getting blocked. Moschetti is blocked. Moschetti comes out at the last minute. I think Thurn still has it. Matteo Moschetti takes it in a photo finish with Edward Thurns. Possibly a few gaps occurring here. Ruiz is dropped. Zwiehoff, the mountain leader for... Actually, Lotto Kern got anyone else? Oh, yeah, I've got Air Lotti. Never mind. Zwiehoff, key domestic for Air Lotti. Losing time today. What a start to the Tour Colombia. Short 90km stage, saw a few crashes, lot of rain, but luckily no abandons. Let's have a look at the first podium of the race. We see the Mapai GB colours on the podium. Matteo Moschetti takes the stage win in a photo finish against Edward Turns. Sasha Wemens in third and Itma Ihon in fourth. That puts Moschetti in the orange leader's jersey. Well done, Matteo Moschetti. Point specification, of course, Moschetti, he will be in, well, probably Edward Turns in yellow, 1 point behind Moschetti. And Niels Brun is wearing the white young leaders jersey, of course, with those bonus seconds in the intermediate sprints. And Mapai, well, on the podium for the team classification. I wonder if that's how it actually is in the results. Just post the results first before I forget. Tour Colombia Stage 1, let's have a look. There's Moschetti in first, 2 seconds ahead of Edward Turns, 5 ahead of T-Bolt Gunak, who of course was in the breakaway. Moschetti, 1 point in the points classification. Mountain, no points as of yet. Young, we said, was Niels Brun, and team, it actually is Mapai GB leading the team classification ahead of Team Kubote Sake. Let's head over to stage 2, another sprint stage, so expecting similar results. Moschetti, Turns, Lund, Anderson to be making a name for themselves. Another 3 intermediate sprint points. Let's see what happens. Stage 2 in real life was taken out by Fernando Gaviria. Sebastian Milano again, and Matteo Melucci taking up third position there. Look at those beautiful jerseys on the start line. The Mapai GB with the Mapai class labels. Edward Turns for Farm Fleets with no transfer art as of yet. And there's Brun with the Tudor Pro Cycling youth jersey. A few riders making themselves into the breakaway at the moment. Let's just do that for now. And 2 riders up the road. Who is it? It is Miguel Angel Fernandez of Cajaruel, and it is the second rider from Arkea B&B Hotels, Lujuitos. Third rider trying to make their way across to the breakaway, but they are being chased down by Thomas Silva of Mapai, and that is Casimiro of Michelin Premier Tech. That's a beautiful jersey, that is. Looks to be a little bit of wind on course today, 4 kilometers an hour from the, well, slightly crosswind, but not too much. The riders at the front are working well together. Will the Portuguese rider make it across? And it looks like he will not. He's looking dead as the gap to the peloton is reducing, with Farm Frights on the front once again, trying to push that pace along. Peloton looks a little bit strung out. That is a beautiful National Champs jersey. Simple and to the point. Ericsson of Tudor Pro Cycling. Looking good. Yeah, fair enough. 4, 5, 6. I mean, to be fair, that's probably only the good ones. Totally understandable. Anyway, let's head ourselves up to the first intermediate sprint point. Only there's 2 riders, but it looks like the peloton is letting these 2 escape. As we see the gap increase to 2 minutes 20, and still going up. It's mostly Kubota Sake, Farm Freaks, and Mapai having their faces at the front of the peloton. 9 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Van is looking like the favourite to take the points here. He is the sprinter out of the 2. Looks like he's got himself in second wheel, the best place to sprint from. 1.2 kilometers to go. Will he make his move? It looks like it is the rider from Arkea BNB who launches first, but it is the Spanish rider who takes it quite convincingly. In the peloton, further down the road, all the sprinters are making their way to the front. There's Moschetti, the race leader. Remember, there's only 1 second on offer here. There's Moschetti, he's launching straight from the pack. Look at that immediate lead. Mazzato is the first to react. Has Moschetti gone too early? Nope, Moschetti takes the last bonus second and last point on offer. Oh, 2 points on offer, extending his lead over Edward Turns in the points classification. Hey, Boyven's got the Canadian stripes on. That's cool. Anyway, back up to the front. Breakaway has 3 minutes 46. Shouldn't see a breakaway win the stage. It's a longer stage, but in the end it's still just got pretty pan flat. It's not raining today, so the riders can be a bit more risky on the corners, maybe on a few of the descents, because it might be just 1 descent of the day. But they can rest easy knowing that they won't have to watch out for the white line. 6 minutes now, the gap. Whew. That's a big lead for these 2 riders out in front. We're both only 11 seconds down. Thomas Silva, Uruguayan rider, leading the peloton along these plains. Well, there are 4Ks up the road. Coming up to the second sprint of the day. I expect Fernandez to take it once again. The Arkea BNB rider tried to get the jump on him, but he is no match for the power of the Spaniard. The gap has reduced slightly, 6 minutes. So it looks like, oh, everyone's kind of taking their foot off the gas as they're waiting for the intermediate sprint. Where is Moschetti? Where's Einhorn? Where's the big names that in the sprint? Moschetti's being blocked, kinda. 2.4 kilometers to go. I think he's in the wrong place at the moment. Looks like Coquard could be in to take some points there. Einhorn is the first to launch this time. Moschetti is way out of place. Decker and Lund Andersen, but there comes Moschetti. Last minute push to the line. Ooh, Turns sprinting very late there. Lund Andersen taking the final points on offer at that intermediate sprint. He's doing well. Extra bonus second. Of course, remembering Moschetti got 1 bonus second earlier. So overall, not much change there. The 2 breakaway riders are on the climb. Such a small climb. Not really worth slowing down too much for. The gap is reducing down to 5 minutes now. There's still 100 kilometers to go. So it's definitely going to be a mess bunch finish. But at least it gives these breakaway riders a bit of a hope and a bit of time just to ease the pace down a little bit. So they have to go full gas the whole way. Back in the peloton, still Mapai, Kubatasake, and Farm Freaks on the front. Mark Donovan now helping out with the pacemaking, rather than just Thomas Silva, the young rider from Uruguay. 20k to the intermediate sprint. Another lot of fast forwarding to be happening. .1 kilometers to go once again, and Fernandez this time takes the jump on the Frenchman. We know it's going to be Fernandez who takes that. We head back to the peloton. Torres is leading up Moschetti. Moschetti on the front. This time it's Turns versus Moschetti. And Moschetti just holds them off. Nope, dies before the line. Looks like Mazzato takes it with a last minute push on the right hand side of the road. Luca Mazzato getting the last bonus second and a few points in that classification. Everyone's calming down a little bit. So we see Albert Torres head to the front now. They got 2 minutes 26 to the gap to the breakaway. They should catch them with 56 kilometers to go. Met by sending 3 workmen to the front. Farm Fritz also sending a few. But it's Mark Donovan, the climber for Mapai, on the front. The gap is now a minute to the breakaway. Still holding quite nicely with 38 kilometers to go. .26 to go. The gap is down to 30 seconds. Almost the whole Mapai squad is here. Even Jakob Fogelsang on the front doing some of that chasing. They must have great faith in Muschietti for today's stage. Alexander Vlasov, of course, chilling near the front. Where are some of the other leaders? The peloton's a little bit strung out. Hopefully not too badly. The breakaway has been caught as we see the sprint trains beginning to form. Mapai on the right, Einhorn through the middle. There is Marc Soler, of course. He is the leader for Kabate Sake. He's going to sit behind Einhorn until he is safe out of danger. Edward turns there for Farm Frights. Esteban Chavez being led up by Sam Gaze towards the front of the peloton. Seb Kuss chilling in the middle. And there's Lund Anderson. He's bringing the Sudal Quick Step train up on the right hand side. Bora, of course, remembering last time they had to go backwards for their GC leader in the last few kilometers and lost a few positions. Right at the back, it's looking pretty spread out. 17 kilometers to go. Panflet, well, not really panflet, a little bit of a descent now, a little bit of an ascent before the climb. It is UAE. Nope, Farm Frites on the front. Too many white jerseys there. Mapai on the right. Everyone else kind of just scrubbing in behind the Farm Frites squad. Maybe Cahill Ruel's trying to make a train on the right-hand side. And then look like all the GC leaders are in a line. We have Mas, Bardet, Vlasov, Soler, Kelderman, Scottson in behind there. Guillaume Martin. All the sprinters are kind of just shoved in here. 8.2 kilometers to go. What's the finish line looking like on today's stage? It's a little bit of a, well, back where we started, a little bit of a circuit, a little bit of corners. Might cause a bit of trouble here for our riders. So you might have to go a bit earlier today than you typically would. Kabata Sake and Farm Frites on the front. It is UAE here also in the mix. David Decker there. Left hand side we're seeing some of the more colourful sprint trains. There's Bora, Lotto Kern for Bollerstedt, Michelton Premier Tech, and 3 kilometers to go. Matt Walls, the Bora train, is now on the front. They have a sizable lead there. Farm Frites moving. Edward turns up. Where is Muschietti, the race leader? He is in the middle. It looks like he could get boxed in. As Guillaume Boivin doing the final lead up for him. Muschietti launches with 1.5 kilometers to go. I think he's gone too early. Edward turns, is trying to come up around the left-hand side of him. Brian Coquard through the middle. 200 meters to go. Muschietti takes a decisive win ahead of Coquard and turns. Second win in a row for Matteo Muschietti. Can he make it 3 tomorrow? Ooh, looks like a bit of a gap there. We'll double check that gap for, well, if it does exist. The two breakaway riders coming in home last. Here we have it, podium for stage 2. Muschietti takes a second stage in the Tour Colombia ahead of Coquard and Turns. GC, Muschietti extends his lead. Turns the closest one, 9 seconds back. Then Coquard, followed by Thibault. Of course, he was in the breakaway on the first stage. Points classification, still Muschietti, but this time he extends his lead from 1 point to 12 points ahead of Turns. Lund Anderson takes over the youth jersey from Nils Brunn with those bonus seconds and those intermediate sprints. I think that pink works really well with that white jersey. And Bora takes over the team jersey. Congratulations, Bora. Yeah, that downhill did help. You are correct. I forgot that it was a downhill. Muschietti is a Pataki today. Absolutely, he is. Before I forget to do anything else, let's get these results posted. Alessandro Pataki. Was there a gap in the peloton? Nope, just these two riders at the back. The rest of these time gaps did not count. Reminder of the overall. There's the top 10. Muschietti, Turns, Coquard moving up 16 places. Otherwise, everyone else just a few spots. Decker holding strong in 10th. Third sprint stage now. Once again, Muschietti, Turns, Mazzato finding himself in the top 3 favourites for the stage. Maybe he's expecting to be on a better form than Lund Anderson. Let's get into it, I guess. Stage 3, real life of the 2018 route of the Tour Colombia was Fernando Gaviria, surprise, surprise, Matteo Malucci in second, and Juan Sebastian Milano in third. They finished in 3 hours 30. Go them. And we are back on the start line. Third day. It's another fine day. Looking at the course, it is starting from point to point and then finishing back on the midpoint. Let's get some of these GC overall and points labels coming up. Who's going to get themselves in the breakaway for today? Will we see another Caja Ruel rider? Perhaps we'll see the rider from San Marino of Bora. But it is the same Frenchman as looks like a bigger breakaway today. So we see 6 riders go up the road. 2 from Caja Ruel, 2 from Arkea B&B, 1 from St. Michael Uber, and 1 from Michelin Premier Tech. Sam Gay seems to be the one to have to take up the pacemaking for Farm Fritz. Lotto Kern is what they call themselves, right? Yeah, Lotto Kern House find themselves near the front of the peloton today. Maybe their leader is expecting a bit more of feeling a bit better than yesterday. Cataldo, is he trying to get across to the break, or is he just pacing really, really hard? Either way, it's not looking too promising for these breakaway riders. Two of these riders, the 2 Frenchmen, have both been in the breakaway themselves on 2 different stages. 30 seconds is the gap to the back of the breakaway. It looks like the peloton is definitely not happy as we see Thomas Silva and Jakob Fuglsang coming to the front to try and catch them. Not sure who out of this bunch they think is a danger. Adila's looking dead. They only got 20 seconds now. Maybe perhaps it's one of them. Or perhaps I don't like the strength of the breakaway with 2 riders from Arkea B&B and 2 from Caja Ruel. And the back 2 riders from the breakaway have been caught, but the pace has not been let up. It is still hitting at 50 kilometers an hour. Michael Wenck had his turn at the front. It's now Farm Fritz back on the front of the peloton. Maybe they want to gain these bonus seconds to try and upset the lead of Matteo Moschetti. One rider from the initial breakaway has dropped out. Luizos finds himself back in the peloton. Only 3 at the front now, 1:15. Peloton has lit up. It looks like they were not happy having 2 of those Arkea B&B Hotels riders in the front. We now have our breakaway established. The gap is now 2 minutes and 10 kilometers till the intermediate sprint. 3-man race. First time we've got 3 men in the breakaway. None of them are particularly strong in the sprint, except for Glenek. Well, he's looking dead anyway, but he would be the strongest for the sprint. Hopefully he gets a bit of time to recover so he can surprise them all and take the bonus seconds. He, of course, is sitting 4th overall in the GC. It looks like he has it. The rider from St. Michael Uber tries to come around, but with 3 of them in the breakaway, it means the peloton doesn't have to sprint, and it means some of the sprinters like Moschetti can save himself for the finish line. Ooh, almost all of these riders are looking in not the greatest shape. The Caja Ruel rider looks to be the strongest on today's stage. Beautiful countryside out here in Colombia. Haven't seen the mountains yet, but as pointed out by Jay Daly, stage 4, 5, and 6 is where the real action happens. It's where GC is make it or break it. The real question on our minds today, of course, can Moschetti make it 3 from 3? Can he pull a hat-trick out of the bag? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, crash at the back of the peloton. What has happened here? Big crash. A few big names on the ground. Ivan Sosa, the largest of them. Matt Walls, Lawson Craddock, Alfredo Hodge. But it looks like they will make it back into the pack. Luckily, none of them were on the ground for too long. They're all back in together. Ivan Sosa, of course, key domestic for... Who did they bring? Enric Mas. None of the GC riders have lost any time, have they? well, not of these big ones here. Guilmartin, Max Soler, Kelderman, Pols, Chavez, Elotti. None of them have lost time yet. Still 14 kilometers to the second intermediate sprint, where we expect the Frenchman to once again show us why he is the greatest. Here we are, 1.5 to the intermediate sprint. Will one of these riders get a jump on the rider from Arkea B&B? It looks like the Spaniard is trying. He launches first, but on the right hand side of the road it is Arkea B&B rider who takes maximum points there. Of course, that saves the energy of the sprinters. I think they will make the catch, hopefully before the third intermediate sprint point, to make it a little bit more exciting for us. Mapai GB sending 2 riders to the front now. Is that Mark Donovan? It is Mark Donovan on the front. Alberto Torres in second wheel. Oh, it's going to be close there. Ooh, shit. Why is that not doing that? Nope. God damn it. Stupid fast forward thing. Well, we missed the intermediate sprint. For fuck's sake, because my stupid fast forwarding. Anyway, Moschetti takes it ahead of Einhorn and turns, and they make the catch. Well, that's my fault for that stupid fast forwarding bug thing, not letting me minus it until I went into the wrong setting. So, my apologies, but Einhorn has a small gap. He is setting up though. Donovan makes the catch. 36 kilometers to go. I'll try and slow down earlier. And keep the mouse over here, just in case we need it. Yeah, I know. Not major. You're right. But it's alright. It happens. It's only worth 3 points. Okay, let's get ourselves back to the front. Times 1, 16 kilometers to go. We have, of course, the sprint train of Kubota Sake, with Einhorn on the front, Chavez at the back of their sprint train for Farm Fritz. Now, there is Turns there, trying to sneak in front of Chavez. Where is Moschetti? He has got no sprint train. The rest of his team must have used themselves up in the chase. Vlasov chilling with the rest of the GC men. Martin, Bardet, Scottson, Kelderman, Mars, Alfredo Hodge there. Is this the first time Mapai does not have a sprint train, is it? Oh, here it comes. Here comes the Mapai sprint train from deep within the peloton. Fogelsson, Boyven, Alberto Torres moving themselves up, snaking their way through the peloton on the right-hand side. Moschetti, they've called them on the radio. They've asked him to come across to the right-hand side of the road. Where is Moschetti now? There he is there, jumping across. 9.7 kilometers to go. It looks like the Farm Fritz train is taking the inside line and going full gas. They want to try and get that lead early before Moschetti can organise himself with their Mapai train. Einhorn looks to be in a good position. He's got one lead-up man, but they're sitting behind the train of Edward Turns. He's being pushed back slightly. Dan McClay here. Looks like only a few teams have got trains. The Mapai train trying to come out of the depths. Mark Soler with a gentle block there. 5.5 kilometers to go. It is still Farm Fritz on the front. Edward Turns looking in the greatest position. Moschetti still looking too far back to do any real damage here. The train looks to be quite flat towards the finish. Brian Cacard sitting on the left. 3.3 kilometers to go. Small attack from Ericsson of Tudor Pro Cycling. Maybe he's trying to lead out Alexander Camp. There's somehow Moschetti's found himself at the front with 1.5 k's to go. He launches early. I think he's going to be low on energy and he's not going to take it in today's stage. Turns narrowly. Yep, Moschetti's gone. Lund Anderson takes a hit of Turns, it looks like. He does. Moschetti not in the greatest of finishes. I think even Vlasov beats Moschetti. He does. Well. Thanks. Thanks, Dali. All good. I try my best. If I do something wrong, let me know. I'm more than happy to adjust it. Whew. Bad day for Moschetti. He could not pull out the hat-trick. It is Tobias Lund Andersen who takes stage 3 of the Tour Colombia. Turns in second and Einhorn in third. Does that change the GC leader going into stage 4? Moschetti leads by 5 seconds over Edward Turns on the day in orange for the Italian. Turns does take over the points classification though. Moschetti was way out of position there, and he gets to wear the yellow jersey outright on stage 4. And Lund Anderson with that win gets a bonus 10 seconds to now be outright leader in the white jersey. Bahrain victorious, taking over the team's classification. Now the real fun starts in Tour Colombia as we leave the flat roads behind, head to the hillier stages. Stage 3. There, of course, reminder of the GC Einhorn moving himself into the top 10. Moschetti holding about 25 seconds on the rest of the peloton. Class is a medium mountain stage, but looks to be quite hilly. The first mountain points also on offer. 6 intermediate and 6 at the finish line. Favourites for today's stage: Enric Mas, Alexander Vlasov, Bardet, Bergioli, Calderman, Martin, Soler, Chavez, all the riders that you would expect with high hill and pretty decent acceleration. Let's hope the AI does not do anything stupid and decide to protect Moschetti instead of Vlasov on these hilly stages. I will be crying quite significantly if that happens. Tour Colombia 2018 was won by Julian Alaphilippe, Sergio Henao, then Nairo Quintana. What a throwback to those riders. So top 10 GC, may as well get points classification at least for the intermediate sprint. We perhaps see a sneaky Moschetti finding himself in the breakaway. Nope, looks like we won't. Looks like 3 riders getting up the road early. Thalman from Tudor Pro Cycling, Prades from Kubate Sake, and Luzet from Arkea BNB. Arkea BNB, I think, has been in the breakaway every single day. Great exposure for their team. Not that they need it, as they are a pretty well-known team. Mapai moving all their riders to the front. I think that's a bad idea, as Vlasov's going to need Donovan and Fogelsang later on this kind of hilly finish. Pretty gentle into the last few kilometers. Let's keep up with the break. Oh, it is raining also as well. That's not going to be the greatest for the riders. Hopefully everyone stays upright and out of trouble. Puncture for Totoro of EF Education Easy Post. He finds himself back in the peloton. A few sprinters sitting at the back. They know that this day is not for them. Einhorn, Decker, Coquard. 4 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. The breakaway will take all the points here. So, really not a day for the sprinters at all. They really should have tried to get themselves in the breakaway. Edward Prades launching early and holding them off to take the bonus points and bonus seconds. Five minutes is the gap. Will we see a breakaway win? Likely not. Alberto Torres on the front. The lead-up man, of course, for Moschetti. Looks like Boyven is protecting Vlasov. They probably need a few more domestics than that. So I possibly could have tried, or probably should have asked my riders to try and lose the lead yesterday. But at the same time, Moschetti looks brilliant in orange, so we're happy to have him there. Second intermediate sprint, I once again expect Edward Prades to take the sprint here. I mean, on paper, he is the strongest, followed by the Frenchman and the Swiss. Peloton is still being led by Albert Torres, but this time Farm Fritz has sent a rider to the front to help out. Oh, looks like it's the rider from Arkea BNB who opens first, but Prades, look at that. No one even got close. They kind of chose their positions early and held them. Gap is 3 minutes. Mark Donovan doing some big turns on the front. Personally, I don't agree with that. Guillaume Boivin now helping out at the front chase. Mapai's using all of their hill domestics on the front to try and catch the breakaway. Gap is being cut significantly, so that possibly by this final intermediate sprint there will be no breakaway. Perhaps the sprinters could have a go. 22 kilometers a minute should be easy for the peloton to catch them with anyone else helping out yet. Still Farm Fritz sitting in second wheel. Thomas Silva this time on the front. Inward turns. Oh, I see. These sprinters are hoping that we make the catch so they can actually do something on the stage rather than just dying off towards the back. Turns is dropping back, but will Moschetti drop back? The breakaway is about to be caught. A last minute push by the rider from Arkea B&B pushes the gap back out to 12 seconds, but it is Thomas Silva doing a brilliant job, the Neo Pro for Mapai Pro Cycling. Mapai GB, that's up team, isn't it? Catch has been made as now Dario Cataldo takes a little bit of turn on the front, but really just a stalemate occurring. 6.3 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. Everyone is just chilling. Everyone's recovering, getting that green bargain, that stamina back. Hopefully those Mapai domestics are ready to help Vlasov when it really matters. Having a look at the back of the peloton, everyone at the back here is also chilling. Einhorn and Coquard possibly not wanting to go for the intermediate sprint. Will we see a few riders line themselves up? Yep, Thomas Silva leading Matteo Moschetti towards this intermediate sprint. Is anyone else coming towards it? Alberto Torres, but no other big name sprinters. Oh, a few other second tier sprinters coming through, but no one really doing anything. 1.3 kilometers, there we have it. Hugo Hofstetter launching an attack 800 meters out. Why is Moschetti not going for these intermediate sprint points? Hugo Hofstetter free reign on those points. Moschetti, what happened there? Took third. His lead-up man Torres taking second. Moschetti, of course, forgetting those points were there. 6k to the top of the first climb in this Tour Colombia. El Tambo, 4.1 kilometers, average 4.7%, maxing out at 8.8. We should see the peloton start to stretch out now. A few of those sprinters being dropped early on. Inward turns moving up towards the front. The question will be who will take the first KOM jersey of the day. Don't forget there's 6 points here at the intermediate and 6 points at the finish. 3.7 kilometers to the top. Looks like Mapai has almost gone all invisible. Whereas Vlasov, I think he's sitting too far back in the pack now. Farm Frights still having their whole team at the front. They're still working for Turns. I mean, Turns has got decent hill. It looks like he could possibly do some damage. Moschetti's still sitting up here at the front. Will we possibly see Moschetti in the mountain jersey? No one been dropped yet. Still back to a stalemate. Everyone's chilling. 29 kilometers an hour. Max Paul looks like he's trying to do something. Maybe Van Bylen trying to launch an attack for these mountain points, but almost looks like sprint trains. But it really shouldn't be. Who's taking these mountain points? It is Dario Cataldo taking maximum points here at the top. Hogard and Farm Fritz could be in the mountain jersey tomorrow. That was very, very anticlimactic. Now the terrain for now until we get closer to the finish is generally uphill, but not too intense. It's only green on this colour here, which I think low percentage. I'd say 2-3% possibly. There we are. Donovan's protecting Vlasov. 27k's. Kuss has got his lead out. A few of his domestics here to help him. Sam Watson on the left hand side, but it's really just one big scrum. Any big names sitting up towards the back? Einhorn, Hodge, a lot of the big sprinters here. Alberto Torres, he wants to just chill the rest of the stage. It's kind of shitty that it's a bit of a stalemate now. Really kind of shitty. Gonna ×2 it just slightly. Maybe until some action happens or the speed goes above 35 kilometers an hour. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want it to make it into just a there we go, drag race. Who's that? Farm Fritz increasing the pace once again with Vergaard on the front. Maria and Turns. Why is Turns working? Maybe he favours himself on today's, I guess it is more of a punchy finish, although there is a nice big black bit of gradient there, which is the highest percentage, of course, Vlasov and Mast find themselves towards the front. The peloton is stretched out, so if any of these riders do drop the wheel, they'll make it quite hard for perhaps Wout Poels or Moschetti to find themselves back at the front. Still not an insane pace, but the terrain is going up. We're looking at 4% now, so perhaps green is up to 5%. So not nothing, but, you know, not something huge. Geez, yeah, sprinting at the front. Farm Freaks really trying to stretch the peloton out. Perhaps some of these riders who are way out of position. Enric Mas has Jonathan Lastra as his domestic here at the front. Ruiz is here. Roman Bardet, Team UAE, Team Emirates. 15 kilometers to go. Still kind of this plateauy, climby business here. Vlasov probably out in the wind a bit too much for my liking. Aelotti of Lotto Kernhaus finds himself here. Carlos Verona, who is he for? That's right, he's for Roman Bardet. Now we see a bit more of the steep section happening now. 2.2%, but it's still Farm Frights on the front. Who else does Farm Frights have? They must have someone else, surely. They have Chavez. Ah, that's who they have. Farm Frights have Chavez, that's why they're doing a lot of the pacemaking. You see the Mapai squad back in the peloton. Silva Boivin chilling there. 10 kilometers to go. About to reach the final plateau before the hill. 8.8 kilometers. Enric Mas in a great position. Donovan moving Vlasov up still. No one dropped from the peloton. It really could be a day for the punchy riders. Perhaps Turns has just enough hill to make some real damage happen here. Marc Soler's Moschetti is still up near the front. Perhaps he favours his chances, or he's just here to block the climbers when it starts. Moschetti on a +5 perhaps. No, he's swinging his shoulders a bit too violently for my liking. 4 kilometers to go. It's still Farm Freaks on the front. Edward Turns is moving himself up the pack. 3 kilometers to go. Really could be a punchy finish here. No one's really going from a long way out. Moschetti's here. Vlasov's falling back in the peloton like an idiot. Marc Soler, Roman Bardet, Enric Mas, the three big favourites for the race. Esteban Chavez launches an attack on the right-hand side. 1.9 kilometers to go. Looks like more of a sprint. He's got a bit of a gap. Where the fuck is Vlasov? He's blocked in once again. Sepp Kuss, the strongest man in the race, leading out. Yevgeny Romo on the left-hand side. Aelotti is... oh, no, Bergioli. Bora Hansgrohe doing well. 500 meters to go. Here comes the finish, but here comes the rest of the peloton. Sepp Kuss went too early. Enric Mas on the left-hand side in a three-way race with Kuss and Soler. Enric Mas takes it for Groupama. No, yes, for FDJ. Spanish 1-2 as we see another bunch finish. A lot of the climbers finishing well up in here, but no one really having the punch to do anything much about it. Coquard probably the best of the sprinters there. There's Moschetti, he's looking quite tired. He's definitely lost a bit of time on that stage. Riders who are behind Cataldo, of course, he did a bloody brilliant effort on today's stage. Here we go, podium of stage 4. Enric Mas wins the stage in a sprint against Soler, Kuss and Chavez. Well done to the rider from Groupama FDJ. And Moschetti's still leading. Matteo Moschetti maintains his lead in the overall to Tour Colombia. Must have been a bloody same time finish for everyone. Turns second, Lund Andersen in third. So yeah, looks like a few sprinters have lost position, but not a lot of them. Best climber goes to Enric Mas. He is tied with Dario Cataldo to wear the pink jersey. Points classification: Turns 2 points ahead of Moschetti. And Lund Andersen still in white. Bahrain still leading the team's classification. So it looks like stage 4 it really did end in a mass bunch finish. We see Moschetti there. Geez, time gaps are broken. Holy hell. Only 3 riders lost time. What a not so great stage. Must be because it was classed as a medium mountain stage. So only changes really are the bonus second, Enric Mas, Marc Soler, Edward Prades. Vlasov dropping 1, Clay. So everyone's really quite close once again. Your Groupama FDJ. Okay, second to last stage, another class as medium mountain stage. So perhaps the same kind of issue will happen where we get similar time finishes. Sepp Kuss, favourite once again. Mas, Vlasov, Bardet, Sepp Kuss. Looks to be more based on mountain stat today than hill stat. Oh, you're Bahrain. Haha. This stage in real life was won by Rigoberto Urán, followed by Quintana, Bernal, Henao, then 17 seconds back to Sosa. The more you know. Oh, you're in the team's classification. That's what you're saying about. Right. Okay, stage 5. We can now get all the colours on except for youth, because youth's really just the same as GC. Is there mountain points only at the finish? I think we'll see Mas solidify his mountain. Holy shit, that's a big climb at the end. Salento average 7.8%, max 11.4. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt quite badly. But well done to Moschetti. 4th day in the leader's jersey. Groupama FDJ working hard on the front. A few riders trying to get themselves up the road, a few more trying to join them. So we'll wait until they establish themselves a bit nicely before we go through the riders. And Alberto Torres is not happy with the riders down front. Rovasi, Casemiro, Cadiz, Dennis, Eriksson, Leclanche. I mean, it's Kita. Jesus, I suck at foreign names. Oh well, 11Ks. The breakaway has established themselves. A minute 47 riders up the road. 2 from Cajaruel, 2 from St. Michael Uber, 2 from Michelin Premier Tech, and 1 from Tudor Pro Cycling. Makes 7 riders. I don't think they're gonna get away today. But it does make the intermediate sprint a bit more exciting when we see the favourite, Roman Cardis, on the front. Perhaps for his leader, not really sure why. 4 kilometres to go. Cajaruel should have this intermediate sprint in the bag as he drops the wheel just ever so slightly. 2.6, slightly uphill into the town before the 6 points on offer race. Yeah, I understand Moschetti completely. Yeah, exactly. And the sprint is starting. Cardis doesn't even go for it, even though he is the favourite from the bunch. Eriksson, the Swedish national champion, takes maximum points there. Well, another flat-ish day for the stage. It looks like it is Mapai and Groupama FDJ doing the pacemaking once again. Hopefully Moschetti doesn't ruin the likes of Vlasov's stage today again. But who knows what will happen. Either way, Moschetti's doing bloody well. They'll be working quite well together, this breakaway. Oh, Guillaume Boivin on the front. Cocard doing some work as well. Interesting. Puncture for David Decker of UAE Team Emirates. He is their sprinter, 8th on Sprint GC, 26th overall. Anyone going back for him? Nah, he hopefully should catch back up. Back to the breakaway, 7 kilometres to the intermediate sprint. Who are we going to see take it this time? Will Ericsson take a second lot of intermediate sprint points? I think he might. Although he's sitting a bit far back, I guess it's not like real life where if it actually is a sprint, you try and keep yourself up towards the front of the pack. Dennis seems to be leaving them out towards the sprint. And Decker still off the back of the peloton. 2 minutes is the gap. So definitely not a day for the breakaway. 1 kilometer to go. Ericsson launches from within the breakaway. Casemiro, the only rider who can actively catch him, unfortunately does not do so before the line. So the undulating terrain is about to start. We're going to start with some smaller hills. A few heavy days. But it's just going to slowly go up and up and up until we get to the final intermediate sprint point of the day. Then we're starting a reasonably sized hill and then a big fuck off climb at the end. Decker still chilling just behind the peloton. He's almost caught up. He's in the motorbike cascade. He is now up at the front. We see the first rider from the breakaway find the pace a bit too tough for him. It is Dennis of St. Michael Uber. Mark Donovan now doing some pace making on the front for Mapai GB. As always, I've got to talk to you fellas. Please try and save yourselves so you can help Vlasov when the hills get a bit tougher. 6 riders still in the breakaway. Looks like Decker is not going to make it back into the peloton. Hopefully he makes it to the finish before the time cut. Don't think he's too far out, so that won't be too bad. We see a second rider falling off the back of the breakaway. It is Roman Curtis, the rider I thought would do well in the sprints, and looks like the rider from Michelin Premier Tech. Down then there were 4. I don't think they will make it to the finish line, but, you know, could be good for them. And there's another few riders that dropped from the peloton, is it? Guillaume Boivin of Mapai GB, he is the next rider to be dropped. He's done a lot of work on the front today. Mountains are just not his favourite place in the world. We see Jonathan Lastra and Doobie actually doing some pacemaking. Groupama FDJ just fall to the back again. Mark Donovan doing the pacemaking. 1:40 between the breakaway and the peloton. This is the last stage, right? Yeah, final stage. Oh, no, it's stage. Second to last stage. Stage 5. My mistake. A few more hills to go. We're approaching the plains, where the gap to the breakaway is sitting about 1:20. Kupami FDJ and EF Education doing a lot of that pacemaking. Few more riders dropping off the back of the peloton. Alberto Torres, Dennis, of course, there's 2 Mapai riders now out the back. Hopefully they can recover to help out in tomorrow's stage. Please don't go. Oh, Donovan's looking dead already. That's unlucky for us at Mapai GB. There's now 20 kilometers to the intermediate sprint point. Donovan, don't fall back, but you are. Click on someone like Vlasov. The road's still going up. We're about to hit another pinch point here. Going to go down to this little valley. Breakaway is about to be caught. It's going to be quite tough up the other side. 12%. You can see it's getting to Casemiro, who cracks instantly when it gets to that high percentage. Ivan Sosa on the front for Kupama FDJ. It looks like he is working hard, so he will not make it up the climb so much. Donovan now out the back with Cockard. God damn it, Mapai, not the best use of our domestics. As Ravasi goes once again, he's caught by the peloton and just attacks straight over the top. 9 kilometers to the intermediate sprint point. Will we see some sprinters actually go for it this time? Andrea Piccoli. Is he the rider I saw who just started a, what's that, thing? Anyway. EF Education showing their numbers at the front. Who is EF Education? Wilco Calderman is their leader. Calderman sitting 24th overall, 77 mountain, 78 medium mountain. Oh, he's looking strong with all his pink team at the front. 4 kilometers to the intermediate sprint point. Moschetti's still at the front. Moschetti should be going for the intermediate sprint point. It looks like he could be. Thomas Silva seems to be leading him out. 2.7 kilometers to go. Moschetti trying to earn that sprinter's jersey. Vlasov having to fend for himself now. Fogelsang just hopping in front of him. There we go. Looks like Moschetti's actually going for the intermediate sprint this time. 1.5 kilometers to go. No one else is even bothering. Maybe he set up too early, as we see Morin with a last-minute push to the line. Ooh, Moschetti does it. Almost does an illegal block. Third place is Maris. Moschetti would be getting a possible yellow card there, as that move looked a little bit illegal. A few more riders dropped off the back. A few more domestics. This time for Groupama FDJ. I'm feeling a bit happier now, as they've lost a bit more domestics. There's 20 kilometers to go now. Moschetti, he's done his sprint. He knows he's going to get dicked out the back. Enric Mas up near the front. Where is Vlasov? There he is there. Thomas Silva. Vlasov being blocked by the EF domestic. Looks like Silva is protecting Vlasov there. And Moschetti attacks once again. Moschetti must be feeling strong today. The right-hand side of the road, Alessandro Demarchi and Chris Hamilton are going for it. These two punchier kind of riders looking to take the stage win away from the GC men. Dario Cataldo, second in the first equal in the KOM classification, tried to do some damage there, but to no avail. Is EF Education. Matt Walls, also Bora Hansgrove, looking to chase down this duo. Ooh, a rider has been dropped. That's a bit of a favourite. Ivan Sosa's out the back. A lot of riders are peeling off the back now as their days are ending. There goes Moschetti, the race leader. He is definitely losing his leader's jersey today. There will be a new leader in orange today. But who is it going to be? Who's going to be doing some great work today? Where is Vlasov? He's been dropped out the back. Albeit I am very, very biased. Vlasov is my team, so keep an eye on him. Marc Soler looks to be up near the front, doing quite well. It's all come back down to a stalemate now. Maybe some of these GC riders are moving themselves up the peloton more. Vlasov sitting too far back for my liking. EF Education moving their train up. Where is Wilco Kelderman? Piccoli trying something now. Definitely more of a punchy day. Fogelsang chilling in the pack. Maybe Fogelsang is feeling a bit stronger than Vlasov today. But Sepp Kuss is chilling behind Vlasov, so he's not feeling the worst of the pain. 11 kilometers to go. We're going up the nice steady segment now, about 5%. A lot of riders dying. There's Matt Walls. His day will be over at the front. It is an attack by Andrea Piccoli. Marc Soler follows right behind him. Piccoli has a small gap now. Elementes, is he trying something for Lotho Kernhaus? We're about to crest the climb now. There's a slight 11k an hour wind, not too much. Lotto Kernhaus sending a few riders to the front now. Ooh, they must be feeling quite strong. Ben Zwiehoff, remember, he had a crash early on, so he was working as a domestic for, I think it's Aelotti? Yes, Aelotti. He is in this front back. There's 78 riders left. 6 kilometers about to start the final climb. The Salento, an absolute bitch of a climb. 5 kilometers is 9% right at the beginning. Piccolo attacks. Soler is sitting in behind him. Peter's doing quite well. The Colombian for Kubate Sake, helping Marc Soler there. Zwiehoff being moved right to the front by Kiep. Where is the rest of the GC leaders? Where is frickin' Vlasov? There he is there in the inside. Definitely wrong place to be. Needs to move himself further up the peloton. With 3.8 Ks to go, it's going to be a very, very tough ask. We see Aelotti now on the offensive. Haven't seen much of their team this race except for when they're dropped, and the race radio is an attack. Kelderman, Bergioli, Pols, Chavez, Mas, Soler, everyone is here. Where is Kuss and where is Vlasov? They are back down the pack here. There is Kuss, but where the fuck is Vlasov? He's here on the left-hand side, is he? He is. But back up at the front, 1.8 kilometers to go. It's Aelotti and Kelderman. Looks like they'll be taken out in a drag strip. Kelderman drops to the back, trying to retain some of the energy. Enric Mas is dead. This front group of riders is not the great expected leaders. Well, Pole's looking great In today's stage, Lotti, the rider from the Conti team, just riding away from them. There we go, Rambarde, late minute push to the line. It looks like he's dragging Sepp Kuss to the line. Alexander Vlasov coming in third, but Rambarde, the Frenchman, wins in Colombia. Kuss second, Vlasov followed by Lotti with his great effort today. His team was brilliant. Lotto Kernhaus, Guillaume Martin rounding out the top. Lucas Eriksson in the top 10. Kelderman and Thomas Champion. Bora doing fantastic. Enric Mas, biggest loser today. He did well last stage, losing quite a large amount of time. Chavez not looking in great place either. Paredes finishes up the top 20, does he? Well, let's head back down the hill. Let's get everyone across the finish line, we hope. Yeah, here's the last group on the road. 4.5 kilometers to go. They've got about 40 minutes. 2 riders from Mapai. David Decker and Dennis from St. Michael Uber. Gisette Hill looks dangerous. Shit. Oh, well done to Rambarde. Takes the win, same time as Sepp Kuss and Alexander Vlasov. They finished 26 seconds ahead of poles. Elotte, Martin, Thomas Eriksson a further 39 seconds back. Then Wilco Kelderman with his band of Pink Merry Men 49 seconds back. Moves Rambarde into the lead. Same time as Sepp Kuss. And Vlasov is 6 seconds back. 36 seconds back to those second group on the road. Eriksson, of course, he gained those bonus intermediate. I think he gained some intermediate points, sprint points. He's on a bloody good day. Enric Mas still, well, his first equal with Bardet, Kuss, and Cataldo in that mountain jersey. And points classification, Moschetti leads turns by 4 points. Young rider Lotti, 23 seconds ahead of Baggioli. Lotto Kernhaus doing very, very well for a Conti team. Bloody hell. They're one to watch out for this season. And UAE Team Emirates in the team classification. Now we have it, stage 5, quite a few riders losing a bit of time there. Where did Moschetti finish? Moschetti was 9 minutes down. But, well done everyone, no one crashed out as of yet. There's the top 10 overall. We see Bardet, Kuss, Vlasov, Martin, Poles, Lotti, Benjamin Thomas. Lucas Eriksson, Kelderman, jeez. These riders must be on some amazing form. But yes, Enric Mas slips out of the top 10. Unlucky for Groupama FDJ. Up to the final stage now of the Tour Colombia. It is a proper mountain stage. Selecting the same favourites as last time. Kuss, Mas, Vlasov, Bardet, Kelderman. Looks to be a very, very strong race. And there's a lot of mountain points on offer today. There is 22 mountain points on offer, so it could be an outright winner with 18 intermediate sprint points and 25 at the finish. In real life, we saw the likes of Dea Quintana take the stage ahead of Egan Bernal and Sebastian Henao, moving Egan Bernal into the lead of the race and winning the overall. Gaviria took points, Bernal took KOM, and Bernal took youth. There we are, better everyone today. Seeing a lot of labels up here. Who are we going to see in the breakaway? Perhaps somebody's going for KOM. The likes of Soler might try something. Carter's trying for a second day. Hopefully there's more than 2 riders. Yep, there we go. Animentes and Maria. Oh, Van Fritz sending someone. That's interesting revelation. But Master's still in the KOM jersey. Bardet in the leader, of course, for UAE Team Emirates. He is looking strong. So there's currently, what's that, 5 riders up the road? Dennis, Marina, Adamentes, Cartus, and Alexander Camp. Okay, BNB are not happy with this. They're sending Benjamin Thomas, who is 7th overall, to do the work. Arkea, I don't know what your plan is, brother, but if I were you, I would not be doing that. Who is their GC leader? Who is their GC leader? No GC leader. Are they working for Hofstetter, maybe, for some of these sprints? Quite possibly, but Benjamin Thomas was possibly losing his top 10 in GC. I mean, he's likely to lose it in the actual mountains, but losing it this early in the stage? Whew, that would not be something I'd be trying to do. Looks like they're not happy with the breakaway. The gap is holding at 50 seconds. 30 kilometers till the first intermediate sprint. It's a little bit of a hill, but not too much. It flattened out for a long time for the second intermediate sprint, and the climbing begins once again. Is that short climb we talked about now? Going through about 6-7%. Benjamin Thomas on the front once again. No riders should be dropped, or if they are, they should be able to recover on this nice descent through the city. And there we have it. They just wanted to launch an attack with someone. Is that the whole reason Arkea were pacing? They wanted to launch Clement Russo into the breakaway. He will be joined by Alessandro De Marchi and Florian Stork. I don't know why that happened, and I am questioning it quite significantly. Arkea B&B really... Oh, there's more riders trying to join the breakaway. Mark Donovan trying to run the breakaway for Mapai. I mean, he is 17 minutes down, but I thought it might have been better to, work for Vlasov today. David Decker is not letting that happen. He is straight onto the wheel, chasing that second breakaway group down. Zwihoff, he did quite well. He was there for a while there yesterday. Of course, he lost time on that first stage. Sam Gaze, Hofstetter, Brunn. Looks like they've almost caught again by David Decker. About 5Ks to the intermediate sprint. We'll keep an eye on that. In the bottom right-hand corner, we can see there's 3.4Ks for the front bunch, 4.4Ks for our bunch. Head back up to... Oh, it's a trio at the very, very front now. Dennis, Cardis, and Adamentes. Who's going to take it here? My vote is on Cardis, although he didn't sprint the last few times he was here. Well, they're looking pretty dead. Hopefully they can hang on for some of these points. Come on, Cardis, you can do it. For Cajaruel. Doesn't even sprint, but he takes maximum points there. Problem is, the second group on the road is only 18 seconds ahead of the peloton. The front two groups have formed up into one. There was a break of 8, followed by 6. Then the peloton. Are they chilling a bit now? Nope, just a different men coming to the front to try and chase the breakdown. The gap is, increasing slightly. And they've set up, they're happy to let the breakaway continue. The break is now made up of 14 men. We have Clement Rousseau from Arkea B&B, Florian Stork from Kawatasake, St. Michael Uber's got Deval, Brunn from Tudor, Hofstetter from Arkea, Camp from Tudor, Sam Gaze from Farm Frights, Demarchi from Mitchell Premier Tech, Zwihoff from Lotto Kern House, Maria from Farm Frights, Cardis from Cajaruel, Dennis from St. Michael Uber, Donovan from Mapai, and Adamentes from Lotto Kern. And it looks like Adamentes is the first to be dropped from the breakaway. It is still UAE Team Emirates on the front, the team of Roman Bardet, the current leader of the Tour Colombia. We've got 103 kilometers till the end of the race. Holy shit, everyone's across the whole width of the road for some reason. It is not aerodynamic at all. You see the Ruiz, even Cocards now helping out the Groupama FDJ. They are the team of Moss, if I'm not mistaken. They are the team of Enric Mas. Of course, it was now a minute 12 down to Mas. Will have to do a big attack. As we see, all these men here not feeling the greatest because they're not in a line. They just don't want to work. Lovely. What a waste of Mark Donovan's resources. What an absolute waste. 1 minute 30 now is the gap. Looks like it's coming down quite significantly, so it should be very, very catchable because the breakaway will probably stagnate on this first climb here. 5 kilometers to the second intermediate sprint of the day. Will we see some riders do a bit more of an attack? We see a few riders trying to get the pacemaking working once again, but no one is really willing to do anything. It's Sam Gaze, the current mountain bike world champion, who launches an attack to gain maximum points in the intermediate sprint, followed by Cardis, and I think it was Zwihoff? Nope, Alexander Camp. Still UAE Team Emirates on the front of the peloton. We begin the first categorized climb of the day, Alto Solito. It is 4.6% average, 8.4% maximum. The breakaway is literally disintegrating. Gaze is gone, Dennis is gone, everyone is dead in the breakaway. Peloton is just going to slowly sweep them up. The question will be, can they hang on to gain some points in that mountain classification before the peloton makes catch? Up the tempo slightly of the simulation. Brian Coquard, sprinter on the front. Perhaps he wants to jump through all of these riders to gain some points there. A little bit of a lull before the percentage whacks up right again. 7.4% we're seeing now. Donovan has been caught. Perhaps he can sit in for a bit of rest. So we see Duval from St. Michael Uber with a little bit of energy there towards the line, gaining maximum points. Camp in second. No change to the overall, except there is now 5 riders who are first equal. Everyone's come back together. Hopefully a bit of breathing room. Hopefully a bit of these riders can rest up, so we can see a little bit more action than whatever the hell that was we just saw. Heading towards the back of the peloton, seeing if anyone here is looking in too much danger of dropping. No one looks like they'll be dropping yet, but a lot of riders are grabbing drink bottles. We see Klaus Kradek, Jakob Fogelsang grabbing water for their team. Is Marc Soler grabbing? Marc Soler is grabbing water for his team. Why is that? I mean, he's a leader, but who is higher up than GC? Soler's 25th. He is the top in GC for his team, but he's not. But he's grabbing water for his. I guess that's showing everyone's a team player. There's no I in team. As we enter the plateau section of the course, we'll increase the simulation rate just a bit. As we see they're going about 30 k's an hour. Everyone's chilling, everyone's recovering. Maybe Donovan did do a smart move, getting Mapai represented only for us to be all reunited back together. There's Jakob Fogelsang up the front, Vlasov, Donovan, Tors. He's got a few riders with him this time. Sepp Kuss has got Van Bylen, and a bit further back we see Mazzato. Interesting. We're about to start the second categorized climb of the day. I'm going to wait for this little Zigger Killer notification to disappear. Alto Borkiron. Average 6%, max 14, 3.8k, which is just that little end steep bit there. But there is these little short sections now, but it's really kind of shitty when everyone's just riding like this together. Like, come on. Do an attack or something. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to complain too much. I am still... Oh, Thomas Silva. No, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. I mean, you're not sick. Oh well, good news is DNFs don't count too much. Only about race days, but Thomas Silva abandons Tour Colombia. Lovely. Let me write that in now while I remember. if that makes any difference. I mean, it is the last stage, but cool. There's one DNF, and that, of course, is Thomas Silva. Was he actually up there in any classification? No, I don't think I'll be losing any points for him not being in the race, but it's such a shame. Would have been nice to have him in our squad. Still pretty chill at the front. Carlos Verona looking pretty strong. Farm Freights now finds themselves up towards the front of the pack. I mean, Chavez hasn't been doing too well. There we go. Dario Cataldo, he is going for those mountain points. That's what he's doing. Because he is, of course, first equal. It says fourth, but he is first equal. He wants to gain another 6 points there to make himself in the virtual lead. Great work by him. Dario Cataldo for Team Farm Freights. Fernandez and Adila will take the remaining points. Cataldo is in the virtual lead. But there is 16 points on offer at the finish line, so Kus Mas could do some damage there and gain back that jersey. The course trends downwards for it. Yeah, you're right, it doesn't really matter, but if I get in the habit of writing it in, I won't forget when it does matter. The race is trending downwards now until we get to the final intermediate sprint point, and then it's literally pain until the finish. Will we see some more sprinters head up towards the front? Perhaps Moschetti? Did I turn sprint on? I did. There he is there. Moschetti, you're going to head up towards the front of the peloton, maybe going for these intermediate sprint points. Einhorn's finding himself more towards the front. Branko Card's there, but I think he's there to do some work. .4k to the intermediate sprint. Do any sprinters find themselves at the front yet? Michelin Premier Tech. Einhorn finds himself up here. The one thing is I don't want Edward Turns to be here, because Turns, of course, is second in that points classification. With Moschetti being so far... Oh, Moschetti's dropped! Lovely! In that second bunch of the road. With... Oh, shit, missing the front. Well, Morin takes first, Einhorn second, and Coquard takes third there. So no change in the overall. I think Einhorn did well. He's jumped a few places up in that classification. But there has been a slight split in the peloton. It looks like Wout Poels could be in that second bunch if we see Bahrain here working on the front. 16 kilometers to go. The hill of pain has begun. Manny Zales, 5.3%, 16.5% maximum. Is going to be an absolute shitter of a climb. Me, not a hill climber, I would hate this. It looks like some of these guys are rearing to go. We see Vlasov with a big smile on his face. Mark Soler, is he smiling? Let's have a look, shall we? Looks like he is grimacing. He is ready for the pain. Palma FDJ looking very, very strong. Enric must be on a bloody brilliant day. Don't know why Tors is protecting Vlasov. But I have like Focalsung here and stuff. Still all together here at the front of the race. We're about to come to a slight descent, and then it goes straight up to whatever that big percentage is there, so probably like 10-11%. There it goes, straight to the pain. Look at the speed wash off. They were going 32 kilometers at the bottom, and now going 14. It's 14%, 13 k's an hour. It's just absolutely grueling. You'll start to see some riders blow apart here at the back of the peloton. Hopefully. So I'm just chatting shit. Oh, the pace has increased slightly at the front. Are they pushing it a bit harder over the top of that steep section? Looks like they are. Ivan Sosa's on a good day today. They haven't used him up on the flat. Bouchard's having a good day. Oh, look at him, 25th overall. David Decker doesn't want to be dropped this early on. Only 8.2 k's to go. Looks like a big section of gentle climb before the final push to the line. Puncture for Erlotti. Very, very ill-timed for the leader, for Lotto Kernhaus. You can see his team up the road waiting for him. They're going to have to try and pull him back up the peloton. Luckily, he got the wheel change there from his team on the side of the road. He is in the white jersey. Who is his nearest competitor is Bergioli. Bergioli, of course, still in the peloton further up towards the front. Of course, he is the leader for team Bora Hansgrohe. Can Airlotti make his way up towards the front before the attacks start to happen? Looks like big GC men are up near the front there. David Decker about to block a few riders as he falls backwards through the pack. Vlasov sitting quite a way back as per normal. Oh, Sepp Kuss moving up towards the front. He's going to increase the pace. He gets a little bit blocked by these Groupama FDJ lead-out men. Kelderman is marking Kuss quite closely. We're about to hit another 10% section. Oh, look at them struggle. The pace is reduced significantly back down to 13 k's an hour. Mars loses a few key domestics. Vogelsang is leading Vlasov up the road. Max Paul is pulling Kuss up. 1.5 kilometers to go. Is it going to end in another sprint between the GC men? No long-range attack. Not as exciting as we could expected it. There goes Sepp Kuss. Sepp Kuss is making his move now. Straight onto his wheel is Ivan Sosa. There is Vlasov riding straight through the middle. Vlasov has launched an attack. Alexander Vlasov, the Russian, but as well, Poles of Bahrain. Bahrain, who said they weren't going to achieve much this race, have achieved a second place in the final stage. Vlasov takes the victory. Alexander Vlasov, the Russian from Mapai. And of Sepp Kuss and Andrea Baggioli because of that ill-timed puncture by Airlotti. It looks like Airlotti will be losing his white jersey. Here comes Airlotti now. He is quite a way down. There was quite a bit of time gap there. Unfortunate mistake for him. Guillaume Martin, 4th overall, also losing a bit of time. Marc Soler is Roman Bardet. Bardet has lost his overall lead of the race. Jeez, these riders are passing quickly. Let's head down the road to see how the back markers are going. Einhorn, one of the last men on the course, with a few riders from the breakaway. Scarponi did very well. Look at his stats. He's not looking the greatest stats, but he has done bloody well this race. Only 89th. There's like 112 riders here. Well done to the rider from San Marino, Bora Hansgrohe. Here we have it, finishing line from the other side. Poles almost makes it past Vlasov. The little downhill finish not working with an advantage. And a sprint finish for the first 7 riders. It looks like Sepp Kuss has taken the overall win, I think. Because Vlasov was 6 seconds back last stage. Vlasov wins! Same time as Sepp Kuss, yes! Alexander Vlasov wins in the orange jersey. Matteo Meschetti held it for a long way. The jersey returns to the Mapai team. Same time as Sepp Kuss. 34 seconds back for Wout Poels. Yes! And we take the best climber classification. I didn't know we had points in that. Vlasov doing brilliantly. And does that mean we also took points? Ho 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 ho. Mapai domination is back. Oh yeah, well done. Well, Poles, you did bloody well. 3rd, yeah. Point Moschetti's 4 points ahead of turns. Yep. And Baggioli, yes, because of that poor time puncher of Airlotti, he takes over the white jersey. And Bahrain, you take the team's classification as well. Well done to you. Great work to everyone. I'll be posting the results in there for you to cry about. Stage 6. And then we have it, looking at the time gaps on today's stage. Chris Hamilton did quite well to keep up in that front sprint. Enric Mas, his team worked well on the stage. Romeo Kelderman Sosa. Hey. Bahrain Victorious' Polish time trial man did very well on today's stage. There's Airlotti. He finishes 47 backs on Baggioli. Of course, Thomas Silva, the only DNF. And here's the GC of the race. We see Vlasov taking the win. Excellent work by the Russian of Mapai GP. Well, thanks for tuning in, peeps. I'll be posting the results, and then I will be heading to sleep, because what time is it for me? It's 10:30 at night. Let's do top 80 riders. in GC. Points classification, Matteo Moschetti. Mountain, Vlasov. Oh, domination by Mappai. And young rider Andrea Beggioli, unlucky to Elotti. Perfect, let me add the stream ending thing, and ka-chow.